I rise today in opposition to Senate Bill 137. Many of you in this chamber, and in fact across this Capitol, know the passion that I brought to the issue of autism insurance reform. It was one of the proudest moments of my legislative career to date to be part of a team that helped find a solution for the families in the state who came to this Capitol and told the most heart-wrenching stories about how they had been denied coverage through their insurance plans for their children who were just a step away from the life-saving, life-changing treatments that would mean that they could finally be potty trained, that they could go to school ready to learn, that they could communicate after not being able to communicate for most of their lives or all of their lives. We heard families tell stories of mortgaging their homes, of raiding their retirements, of borrowing money anywhere they could from banks, from family members. We heard stories from families that said, "We need change." And we came together in a bipartisan way, and we made that change happen. And when we made that change happen, we knew two things. We knew that we needed to help pay to get this engine started. We needed to provide a reimbursement fund that would make sure that our carriers who were starting this treatment had support they needed, and those who aren't impacted by this mandate because their self-insured plans or ERISA plans are not subject to state mandates, we knew we needed to provide some reimbursement for them to encourage them to do the right things for their families that they cover as well. And so we came together and we put $26 million in a fund to help pay for that treatment, to help reimburse those claims, to actually help families, to provide services. And since we created that fund, to date, we've spent $5.9 million actually providing care to families, $5.9 million. There's another $1 million right now sitting out there going through the process pending that could be approved. So all told, $6 million that could be going directly to help families. And in that time, we've moved $5.6 million to universities to help build the pipeline of providers. And I have voted for that, and I have supported it because I do believe we know that we still have a lot of families who don't have access to the critical therapies they need because the healthcare providers are not available to do the treatments and to provide them. But when we make this change today, if you support it, that will bring our total up to $8.5 million of the $26 million that we put in this fund for families, for treatment, that will instead go to building the pipeline of providers and not to direct care that these families need. We've hit a tipping point where I think we've gone too far. We need to preserve the funding that's left because we have enough claims in the pipeline that more families are starting to understand that they can get access to their treatment through their health insurance carrier, and the carriers are learning that they can get these reimbursements. We need to protect the money that's left in here to provide real care for real families. So I'll be voting no on this bill today, and I encourage my colleagues who really care about our families, who have children with autism spectrum disorders, who are trying every day to make sure they get the care and treatment they need. Protect this money for the purpose it was meant for. Reimburse for their care. We'll build the pipeline another way. Thank you, Mr. President.